We're back in Project 5, Letterfold Brochure. This is Stage 3, working with imported text. Placing text is a very important part of page layout design. You can create the text directly within the layout, or you can import it in from an external file. Sometimes you only need a little bit of text. Sometimes you need a lot of text. And depending on how much you have to work with, you might place your layout text in a single frame. You might cut and paste different parts from a single story into individual text frames, or you might thread text across multiple frames. That gives you some flexibility in frame size and positioning, but you still maintain the proper flow of the text. We're going to use more than one of these methods within this file. We're going to start by importing text for the inside panel. In your artboards, make sure your inside panel is active and to the front. In your layers panel, you want to lock your graphics layer and collapse it, and then create a new layer and call it text. We're going to place in an imported document from Word. So in File, Place, and select Studios Inside. In the dialog box that pops up, keep the formatting and make sure Remove Text Formatting is not selected. We want to see all of the formatting that's already applied to it, and say OK. If you get the font problem, that means that we don't have the font that they're telling you was originally used. That's perfectly fine. We're going to reformat the text anyway, so just say OK to that. And you want to click on that center panel on the margin up in the corner by where it says anchor, and just click and select in there, and you're going to get this massively large text box that is much wider than we can possibly use. Also, take a look down here in the corner. You have this lovely little plus sign in a red box, and that means there's more text that we can't even see yet. So we're going to have to resize this text box, and the text will auto flow with it and wrap and things, and so we will be able to move all of this around. I have my text tool selected and I really want my selection tool, so I am going to go to that and grab that corner anchor path, and I'm just going to drag this over somewhere on this panel because I can see that my text is way longer yet, and it's also covering up the logo, and we don't want that. So right now, and I know this is later in a little bit later in this part of the chapter, but for right now, because I know it's coming anyway, I'm going to resize this text box and bring this up above the end of San Francisco there. And now, oh boy, now I even have less text. Oh my gosh, where did this go? So I'm going to click on that lovely little red X, and my cursor changes. I've got more text loaded in there, and I'm going to go up to the third panel, click on the anchor, and drag down to create my text box. And voila, there it is. And I still have too much text, but we're going to fix that. First thing that we're going to do is open up our paragraph styles. And if you don't have your styles available over here, which you most likely don't because we don't even have our characters available over there, we are going to open up our paragraph styles. So I'm going to go to Window, down to Type, and pick up paragraph styles, which also gives me my character styles at the same time. Now, before I proceed with that, I want to go to Type, and I want to show my hidden characters. If you've done formatting, working with Word, you've seen this before, I'm sure. We have, you can see, too many empty returns here. Sometimes people do that when they're typing and building text documents, and it may look really good and fine in Word, but it doesn't work so well for our formatting here. Takes up too much space too, so we are going to delete those extra returns. just get rid of those. There is one. Oh, what did happen? Oh, my text tool, I've got to get in the other text box. Let me click in there. Now I'm there. Select that, and I have one more at the bottom here, and I'm going to delete that. Okay, so right now everything fits, even though it isn't exactly right. So we're going to have to do a little bit more here. With our text selected, oh, which I don't have yet, but I do have an insertion point in there. So I am going to go to select and select all. And I am going to change the formatting in body copy. Body copy is kind of like the default thing that comes up and says, oh, that's what everything is formatted in is body copy. And remember, we are missing a font anyway. We have to change this. So you can double click this, or you can use your drop down. And we are, first of all, we're going to go in and clear our overrides so we can see, oh, there, that's something that made a big change. And then we're going to open up and look at our paragraph style options. There it is. And I'm going to drag this off to the side so we can see the changes that are made and make sure I don't drop it off the edge of my recording screen. First of all, we can just see what's going on under general, but we're going to go to basic character formats. We want a nice sans serif font, and our book is telling us to use, again, Onyx, which I'm sure none of us has, or you may have it if you're on a Mac and thus surprise me. Drop me a note and say, hey, I'm on a Mac and I have Onyx. Just let me know these things. But for the rest of us, we are going to find ourselves a really nice sans serif, something that we're pretty happy with, that we like. You can use the same one you used last time. I have no idea what this looks like. I'm going to try. Oh, heavens no, that's a something else way different. What's avant-garde? Oh, I kind of like avant-garde. I want medium avant-garde. Oh, that one will work. I can use that. Um, and we are going to change, oh, maybe not. That's a medium. I want something that's a little bit smaller. What's Bahamas? Oh, I like that's better. That's got a little more character. I will go with that one. And everything fits nicely. And did you notice that on each font there's a little bit of difference on the spacing and stuff, and so you may end up with your spacing being a little bit different from everybody else's, but that's okay too. Or so you may opt, instead of having the same size font, you may go with the size smaller so that everything fits and looks nice. So the next thing we want to do with this is to change the size of our font. It is not going to be an 11 point, it is going to be a 12, although you may end up changing that yet. And our leading right now says auto, and we are going to change that to a 15 point. I'm lazy, so I'm going to use the drop downs and things. You may have to click away from the active field to apply the change so that you can see it. Sometimes it doesn't show right away. The next thing we're going to do is go to indent and spacing. And in our indents, we don't want to have our space before our item. We want to have, whoa, our space after. And we're going to make that 10 points. And then we are going to go to hyphenation and turn off automatic hyphenation. We don't want to have the computer decide where we're going to put our hyphens. We want to do that manually. And you have to click it twice to clear that. The first time will give you a minus. The second time will give you a blank. Just know you have to do that twice. The dash is sort of an ambiguous thing, and it's a little difficult sometimes to work with. Okay, we have that set up. Say okay, and this is what we have. Okay, so now we are going to select just the first paragraph in the story. If you triple click in there, you will get the whole thing selected. We want to go into our characters up on top, and whatever you have, you should hopefully have a bold. If you don't have bold, try using italics, but change the style of your typeface, and we're going to change the size to 13 points, and we're going to go into our paragraph panel, and from 10 points we're going to use space after paragraph. We are going to change that. It's only going to be 3 points. So that's going to snug that paragraph up a little bit more. Okay, look at here, paragraph style. Our body copy has a plus sign on it. We're not going to clear that. We're going to use that to create a new paragraph style. So you may have to click it twice. There's our new paragraph style. Select it, and that's going to apply that new style to paragraph style 1. That's going to make it all happy. Click it again to clear the plus sign away, and that is going to establish that we have a new style for headings. Double click that and change the name to heading so we know what that's for, and change that for, and you don't have to select the whole thing. Well, paragraph style, you only have to select, you only have to put an insertion point in, and studio tours. There. So now you're going to want to adjust the height with your selection tool of that first panel, because we don't want, well, let's go here, reselect it. We want to bump studio tours up to the top of the next panel. Next, we're going to select the walking tours text, and you're going to have to triple click that. They call it the first paragraph, but that's actually a heading. And with your fill color in the control panel, change the fill of that to one of those orangey swatches. It doesn't matter which one you want, pick whichever one you prefer. And with the same text still selected, go to your paragraph style panel, select the options menu, and redefine paragraph style. This changes the option for the color, and automatically the other two headings are going to change because that style is applied. And now you can save, and then we'll proceed with the next video.